Alright, in this video we're going to look a little bit more at some animations, and this is a request from a KLWP user, and they have a couple of items that they want to animate on and off the screen, which I have covered in some previous videos, you know, like the list global or the text global. But what they're trying to accomplish here is this. They have, let's say we got 4 items, you can have 3, and I'm referring to these squares, so they can be whatever you want to have inside of them. And right now all of them are showing. Well, maybe what we want to happen is somehow or another when we press a button, you know, these things animate all off, and then when we press a button, maybe one comes up. Then we press a button again and this one goes away, and then this one comes in. We press the button again, this one goes away, this one comes in, and press the button one more time and this one comes in. Now, maybe after that, maybe you want all 4 to come in when you press the button one more time. And then after that, you press the button again, and then they all go away. So we got a couple different things we can do here. And the way we're going to do it is we're going to use a list global. We're going to give it a couple of names, and I'm just going to use these squares. So we're going to go step by step in this process here. So let's go ahead and have a look, and then we'll come back and I'll talk about these buttons in a minute. But we're just going to zoom on in. We got to add 4 squares. Again, I'm starting from scratch. So let's add a shape. And we're going to add that square, and I already forget my colors. Let me zoom back out. So let's just make this, all right, something like that, and I'm going to give this, what was its color? Okay, blue, red, and then yellow, green. All right, so we'll try to match it up. So we got a blue, and let's position this in the top left. I'll tell you what, I'm going to leave it at the center. Or, well, it wasn't at the center, it was at the top. And I'm just going to bump it on over. Let's bump it on over there. Let's go to, I guess I'm going to put it at like 200. And let's bump it on down a little bit. Something easy for me to remember. All right, good with that one. Actually, I should probably back this up a little bit just to kind of keep it looking like what I just mentioned a moment ago. All right, so let's back up one spot. Let's copy and paste this. I'm going to change this color red. All right. It's kind of going step by step here. I know this is a little bit slower than some videos, but you know, we do have some new people who are just getting started, so I want to make sure we're all on the same page. So I'm going to bump this one, the position of this thing, way over here to 200. And you may notice I'm not putting these things in overlap groups. These are just to serve as like backdrops, or if you have these things in overlap groups, then you need to fine tune that. And then we have the green and the yellow, okay? So I'm going to copy and paste. Let's make this one a green. I'm going to start trying to use my stylus a little bit more, because some of you are saying, you know, it's kind of hard to follow when I was doing the screen touches, but sometimes this does just drive me insane, because sometimes it thinks I'm actually holding down on the screen when I'm not. But we'll get there. All right, so let's just put that at like 400. And then we got to do our yellow. So I'm going to come back and copy the blue. And I'm going to add the yellow shape. And let's bump this on down to 400. All right, so that kind of looks like what we got going on. Now, I said we're going to add a list global. So over here at globals, we're going to add a list, and I'm going to call it go. And here's the things. Here's the items I'm going to add to this list global. I'm going to add. I'm going to say. Now, if you want a particular order, let me see. I'm going to click OK. So blue, red, green, yellow. That's the order I'm going to put them in. Blue, red, green, yellow. And let me edit this list. So blue, red, green, yellow. But then here's a little trick we're going to do. I'm going to do it in all, and then I'm going to do none. Okay? So we got a couple of items here. All right. I'm just going to put it on blue for right now. Actually, let me put it on all, and you'll see why in a second. All right, let's go ahead and add our button. So, oops, I don't want to add a global, I want to add an item. I'm going to add a star, and I think that's the default font icon. So I'm going to pop this down at the bottom. And this is going to be my button that's going to toggle. Here I am using my finger, but hopefully you are kind of following along with that. This is the button that's just going to go from one item to the next on that list. So I'm going to go to touch for the star. I'm going to add the touch. I'm going to toggle the global switch. And I'm just going to go to go, and I'm going to let it be next. And we'll talk about some of these other options in a second where I had two circles. You may notice I have two circles back here where we can do this as well. So boom, and now let's back out of this and let's go ahead and start applying some animations. We're ready to animate these things. So I want to animate them. I'm going to slide them all off the screen. So I'm going to go to my blue square, and I'm going to go to animation, and I'm going to react on a formula. All right, and we're going to say, okay, here's what we want to do. If, let's see here, GV go, if it's not equal to blue, I'm going to come back and add some stuff in a second. I want to scroll this thing off the screen. That's the way I'm thinking about it as I put that one in there. I want to scroll it off the screen, otherwise I want to bring it back. However, this is not going to do everything I want it to do. I need to make it say, okay, if it's not equal to blue and it's not equal to all. So, and GV go not equal to all. Remember those names I gave it a moment ago? Because these are the two times I want it to be on the screen. If it is blue or if it's equal to all, I want it to be on the screen. But if it's not equal to one of these things, notice I'm putting the and in between it. I want to scroll it off the screen. Otherwise, I want to bring it back. And I need to be careful there. I need to put a dollar symbol on the end of my code. And where's my parentheses mismatch? Just need, nope. GV right here at the beginning. All right. Now, that one is ready to go, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take that animation right there. Okay, let's make sure we get our scroll set right. Let's just test it out, see what's going to happen. To test it out, I'm just pressing this play button up here. I need to remember to use my stylus more, but all right, we want it to scroll off to the left, so I'm going to bump this to 180 degrees. I'm just going to type it in. So that should slide it off the screen. All right, and you can give it an effect if you want to, like if you want to, you know, overshoot. That's going to bring it off, but it's going to overshoot when it comes back in too. So do that if you want. I'm just going to leave it at normal. All right, and I think everything's cool with that. So I'm just going to take this, I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to go to my red now. Actually, let me come to my yellow, since my yellow's over here on this side. So I think that was that square there. I see some red lines around it. Let's go over to animation, and let's paste that animation. Now we got to change a few things. Let's change our formula to yellow. And the key thing here is using that and statement. Because if it's the yellow one, if it's not yellow and it's not all, it's going to slide off the screen. Otherwise, it's going to come back. So we're good with that. And this one can go at the same angle of 180. I haven't adjusted my speeds or anything like that. So we're good with that one. Now we've got to come to the red and the green. Can I still copy and paste? Do I still have it copied? Is it going to let me paste? Yes, it is. So right now I'm in my red. I'm going to go to the formula, and I'm going to change it to red right there. All right. And the only thing we have to modify here, if we press play to test this out, it's going to slide at 180 degrees. Well, we want to be at 0 now. So now if we test it, notice it's going to slide off to the right side of the screen. All right, very good. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to copy, because that's the one. You don't have to copy it if you didn't want to. And then I'm going to come down here to my green one. Let's go over to animation, and let's press paste. So here, all we have to change here in our code is green. And now we're ready to test this thing. And I'll tell you what, before we test it, I'm going to add one more item to this thing, and I'm going to, not our animation though, let me delete that. Let me go back to the root. Let me add a text item just to get an idea of what our global is. So I'm just going to come up here, and I'm going to type in the code gvgo just so we can see actually what global variable we are on. And you can see how this code's going to work. And I tell you what, I'm going to bump this to the bottom, slide it up a little bit so we can see it, and let's make it a little bit bigger. All right, so right now all of them are showing. Let's save this. Let's go back to the home screen, and we should see some action right now. So none of them are showing. Blue, my blue's showing. Red, my red's showing. Notice blue went away because of the way we coded it. Now we have the green coming in. Now we have the yellow. And now watch what happens. We have them all. Press it again, they all go away. All right, so it's going to cycle through that. That's the order that it's going to go through. Whoops, and see, here we go with the stylus. The stylus thinks I'm holding it down. So if I tap it, there we go, red, and it's going to go through this cycle. Notice we're seeing each one individually. But by us doing the next, when we applied the touch to this star, we just said next value, there's all, so we see all of them, and now we're getting ready to see none of them. So I hope that makes sense. Now let's go in here and just add a few circles, because remember, I have some down here where maybe I want to see all of them quickly without having to cycle, or maybe I want them all to go away quickly without having to cycle. So let me show you how to do that real quick. We're just going to add a shape, and we're going to do, you could do whatever, I mean, I'm just going to do a button, but you can do whatever, font icon or what have you. Let's bump it on up, and let's put its position in the bottom left. The bottom left one, I want it to be all. So let me go to touch. When we touch the circle, I want to toggle global switch. And now when I toggle this global switch go, since I want it to be all, I'm going to set it strictly to all. So this is the only thing that button's going to do. It's going to show all. It's not going to cycle through, because this one back here, if you recall, the star item, where was the star? Right here. Nope. Right here for its touch. Let's go back and look at it one more time. We had it set to next value, so it's going to scroll that way. Now we can actually apply another touch. Whoops. We could actually apply another touch where we could go backwards as well. But for now, let me go ahead and put one more. Let me do one for none. So I'm going to back out of here, and I'm going to go down to my circle. I'm going to copy and paste. And we're going to position this circle on the bottom right. I'm going to change its touch. Still toggling the global switch, but I want this one, since this one over here is in the bottom right, I want it to be none. Alright, so let's save this. Let's go back to the home screen. So here's what's going to happen now. We can still toggle through this. Notice we got none. I'm doing is touching this button here. Blue, red, green, yellow. There's all of them. Alright, there's none. And let's go back to blue one more time. So there we go, blue. Now remember, this one over here is going to be none. So whatever's showing should go away. Notice the blue is going away. Suppose I want all of them to come back. That's this button over here. So I can instantly get to all those again to display them. Now if I go to this, it's going to start toggling through. And let's see what's going to happen here. Okay, if I go to red, then I go to all. Notice they're all sliding in. What's going to happen if I press this? It's going to go back to none, because that was the next one in the list. So whatever we change that list global to, whenever you press this button, like, okay, suppose I go to, there's blue. I'm going to go to this one, it makes it none. Well, what's the next one in the list after the word none? Do you remember that list we typed in earlier? The next one in the list would be the blue. So I hope that makes sense. You know, yes, 3 buttons down here, but you can quickly clear whatever you have. Like if we have all of them showing, we can show all of them quickly with that button. We can clear them all real quickly like that, or you can cycle through them. Or what you could do is just add a whole bunch of buttons down here and have one set to blue, green, yellow, and with some more coding. I'm not going to cover that in this video because I was trying to keep it short. I know it took me a while just to sit there and actually cover all this, but you can actually code it to where you can have just the blue and the red, or you can have blue and green, or you can have blue and yellow, or you can have 3 of them showing. It just takes a little bit of more of those codings where I use the AND inside of the formula. But if you want to know more about that, request it, but I think this is good enough for one video. And there you have it. That's how you can cycle through separate items and then have all the items showing, boom, versus having none of them showing, and also how you can cycle through each one individually. And that's it for this video. I hope it helped.